Imagine waking up in the middle of summer, looking outside your window and seeing a raging blizzard. In 1816, this was not a dream. It was a terrifying reality for millions of people across the globe. This was the start of the year without a summer, a bizarre and catastrophic period where average global temperatures suddenly dropped by 0.4 to 0.7 degrees Celsius, 0.7 to 1 degrees Fahrenheit. While that may sound like a small change, it threw the entire planet's climate into absolute chaos. But what could cause the entire planet to suddenly freeze? The culprit was located thousands of kilometers away in the Dutch East Indies, known today as Indonesia. On April 10, 1815, a massive volcano called Mount Tambora erupted with unimaginable violence. This was a volcanic explosivity index ranking of 7, making it the largest volcanic eruption in at least 1,300 years. The blast was so incredibly powerful that it ejected at least 37 cubic kilometers, 8.9 cubic miles of material into the stratosphere. To give you an idea of the sheer scale, the sound of the eruption was heard over 2,600 kilometers, 1,615 miles away on the island of Sumatra. British military commanders there actually mistook the noise for distant cannon fire and mobilized their troops, believing a nearby outpost was under attack. As Mount Tambora blasted millions of tons of sulfur dioxide and ash into the atmosphere, it created what scientists call a stratospheric sulfate aerosol veil. This veil acted like a massive mirror, reflecting crucial sunlight back into space. A persistent dry fog blanketed parts of the eastern United States. This fog was so thick that it dimmed and reddened the sun, making sunspots visible to the naked eye. Neither wind nor rain could disperse it. The consequences were immediate and devastating. In May 1816, severe frost killed off almost all crops in the higher elevations of Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, and upstate New York. On June 6, 1816, heavy snow blanketed Albany, New York, and Dennisville, Maine. In New Hampshire, weather observers recorded icicles measuring 30 centimeters, 12 inches, long in the shade at midday. In Cape May, New Jersey, frost was reported for 5 consecutive nights in late June. Temperatures behaved erratically. The weather would violently shift from normal summer heat of 35 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Fahrenheit, to near freezing in just a few hours. In New England, only 25% of the corn crop was usable, and much of it was moldy. In Quebec, Canada, bread and milk ran out completely. Starving families in Nova Scotia had to resort to boiling wild, foraged herbs just to stay alive. While North America froze, Europe was facing its own nightmare. The continent was still exhausted and trying to recover from the devastating Napoleonic Wars. The climate disaster delivered a crushing blow, leading to the worst famine of the 19th century. Historians refer to this as the last great subsistence crisis in the Western world. Food prices skyrocketed, and hungry citizens took to the streets. The resulting food riots of 1816 and 1817 were the most violent the continent had seen since the French Revolution. To make matters worse, a massive typhus epidemic swept through Ireland, Italy, Switzerland, and Scotland, fueled by widespread malnutrition. More than 65,000 people died in Ireland alone as the disease spread. The weather abnormalities produced surreal and terrifying sights. In Hungary, snowfall was colored brown by volcanic ash. In northern Italy, red snow fell throughout the entire year. In Switzerland, the summers of 1816 and 1817 were so bitterly cold that the Gietro Glacier formed a massive ice dam, creating a giant lake behind it. When the ice dam collapsed in June 1818, it unleashed a catastrophic flood that killed 40 people. Amazingly, not everyone suffered equally. Eastern Europe and Russia had near-normal harvests, allowing Russian Emperor Alexander I to donate grain to help save starving people in Western Europe. The impact of Mount Tambora's eruption was truly global, disrupting climates across Asia and South America as well. In China, the summer monsoon season was completely thrown out of balance, resulting in devastating floods along the Yangtze Valley. In Yunnan, China, a massive famine tore through the region, helping to severely weaken the ruling Qing dynasty. Meanwhile, unexpected snow fell in Jiangxi, and frost destroyed fields in tropical Taiwan. In India, the delayed summer monsoon caused late, torrential rains. This sudden climate shift aggravated the spread of cholera, mutating the bacteria and triggering a deadly global pandemic that spread from Bengal all the way to Moscow, killing millions over the next decade. Even South America felt the effects. In Brazil, an unprecedented and extreme drought dried up vital rivers and streams, forcing thousands of people to abandon their homes and migrate toward larger rivers just to find water. Despite the immense suffering, the year without a summer sparked a wave of human ingenuity, scientific progress, and cultural masterpieces that still shape our world today. For instance, because of the crop failures, the price of oats to feed horses skyrocketed. With horses starving and being slaughtered for food, people had to find alternative transport. This inspired German inventor Karl Dreis to design a horse-free vehicle. He created the Draisine, or velocipede, a two-wheeled running machine that would directly evolve into the modern bicycle. The freezing weather also changed the demographic map of the United States. Thousands of families fled the harsh climate of New England for the richer soils of the Midwest, accelerating westward expansion. Indiana became a state in December 1816, and Illinois followed 2 years later. Among those who fled was the family of Joseph Smith, who left Vermont for Palmyra, New York. This move directly set off the chain of events that led to the founding of the Mormon Church. Meanwhile, in Switzerland, a group of friends was trapped indoors by the incessant rainfall of that miserable summer. To entertain themselves, 18-year-old Mary Shelley, Lord Byron, and John Polidori held a scary story contest. Mary Shelley was inspired to write her legendary novel Frankenstein, while John Polidori wrote The Vampire, which later laid the groundwork for Dracula. Lord Byron also penned his famous apocalyptic poem Darkness. Finally, a young German boy named Justus von Liebig survived the famine of 1816. The experience inspired him to study plant nutrition, leading him to invent the first mineral fertilizers, which revolutionized global agriculture and saved millions of future lives from starvation.